How's it going, guys? Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a good day, having a good week. The camera's falling down. Yeah. Today I wanted to talk about something that I heard on Sunday from the sermon at the church I go to. It was talking about peace and God, how God can bring you peace. But that's not specifically what stood out to me. It's all, obviously it's important having peace and all that, but the part that stood out to me the most was the last couple verses the last couple of verses in the passage that was being read from, and it was from Philippians chapter 4. And I don't know if you might remember Philippians 4 verses 6 and 7 are pretty common, like verses that people remember. It's like, don't be anxious about anything, but in everything with prayer and supplication and thanksgiving, make your request be known to God, and the God of peace will guard your hearts in Christ Jesus. Something like that, right? But verses 8 and 9 are what stood out to me. And let me read those for you. Philippians chapter 4, verses 8 and 9. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is dignified, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, and if anything worthy of praise, consider these things. These things you have learned and received and heard and seen in me. Practice these things, and the God of peace will be with you. So it's like kind of listing off all of these things, all these aspects of things that are worth thinking about. So that stood out to me because I was like, what do I spend my time thinking about? When there's nothing going on, when I'm doing nothing, what is on my mind? And this passage is kind of like, this is what should be on your mind. And notice it doesn't say specifically like, think about God, think about what Jesus has done for you. It just says whatever is true, whatever is dignified, whatever is right, whatever is pure, all of those things, whatever it is that fits that category of stuff, think about that. Like a lot of the time, like Jesus fits into that, God fits into that. Jesus' sacrifice and resurrection fits into that, of course. Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of things that also fit that description. Like, not everything, but a lot of things fit that description of being true, dignified, right, pure, lovely, commendable, excellent, and worthy of praise. So that's something that was kind of on my mind, because it's like when you are doing nothing and you're just by yourself thinking about whatever, think of these things that Paul has described. Yeah. And verse 9 is like, practice what you have seen and heard in me, as in Paul, and the God of peace will be with you. So you should practice holding to a standard. You should try and get better at, holding yourself accountable for your actions and your thoughts. Yeah. And another thing I wanted to read, kind of related, was Philippians chapter 3, verse 15, which is back a page or two. Philippians chapter 3, verse 15 and 16. We'll start at verse 14. Sorry. I press on toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Jesus Christ. Let us therefore, as many are perfect, think this way, and if in anything you think differently, God will reveal that also to you. However, let us keep walking in step with the same standard to which we have attained. So it's kind of saying, or at least what I see it saying is, we've got to press press on towards the goal, which is being like Jesus. Now, is that goal realistic? Well, I'm sure it's a lot harder than it sounds. Will we ever get there? No, because Jesus is perfect. We can't be. But it doesn't stop us from trying. And it's worth it. It's worth trying to be Christ-like, because you grow closer to God, and you grow as a person and all that good stuff. And it's like, think with the mindset of aiming upward towards being like Jesus, and walk in step with the same standard to which we have attained. The standard that we have attained is Christ's character. That's the standard that Christ set to us. That's the standard that we have shown. And by accepting Jesus, that is the standard that we now are called to live to, which I think is pretty cool. So that's kind of the mindset we have. And within that, we can think about all the things that are described in Philippians 4, chapter 8. So that's kind of how I see them being related to each other. Yeah, what you think about is important, because you're feeding your mind stuff, and whether it's good or bad, it's up to you. So that's a decision you get to make, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Have a good day. Peace.